And about that time, my gunner called me and told me we're being attacked by Japanese fighters. And I looked again, and all of a sudden, that was the Jap fleet. I could see the carriers there.
Cannon to the right of them, cannon to the left of them, cannon behind them. Volleyed and thundered, stormed at with shot and shell, they that had fought so well came through the jaws of death back from the mouth of hell, all that was left of them. The Imperial Navy was poised to eliminate an American presence in the Pacific.
That the Japanese at that time had taken the Philippines, taken Singapore, and they had done things people thought was impossible.
In their path was an insignificant coral outcropping just east of the international date line. Midway. This is the story of the sailors, Marines, and airmen who defiantly stood in the path of the Japanese naval armada, of an admiral who sent his forces into harm's way. This is Destination Point Luck. Voices from Midway. Today, oxidized iron coats a 3-inch naval gun that still stands sentry on Midway's eastern island. Old runways that serviced Brewster Buffaloes, B-17s, and TBF Avengers now lie cracked and overgrown, and everywhere there are goonie birds. In the fall of 1940, this island and the ships of the Pacific Fleet teemed with young men ready to do battle. Who were these Americans, and what forged their will?
There was no question that we were heading for war, but at that point in time, just verbal accusations traded back and forth.
1939, Hitler had invaded the Low Countries and Poland, and the news was very frightening. And I thought about that, and I said, well, if I go aboard a ship, I'll have something to eat, clean clothes, and nothing will happen to it. They won't sink it.
I think that that generation was unusual. Most of us came from poor families.
I think one point that has to be mentioned is the country was emerging from a depression. It was very, very difficult to go to school or find work. So the Navy found itself in a rather comfortable position, and they took advantage of it.
November 26, 1941, the Kido Butai, the Japanese mobile force, leaves Hitukapu Bay and steams at a steady 24 knots for a point 230 miles south of Oahu in the Hawaiian Islands. At 6 a.m. on December 7th, 1941, the Japanese launched their first wave of fighters, bombers, and torpedo planes for the attack on the U.S. Pacific Fleet at Pearl Harbor. America is at war and on the defensive.
Pearl Harbor was awesome. You could still smell death in the air, the smoke, the ships upside down.
A population hardened by a decade of depression and hardship rushes to serve.